Got the game from the old school. Focus on break no rules. Operate on my own truth. I've been making my own moves. I keep hearing this game saying you could be the one if you so choose. Got the game from the old school. Focus on break no rules. Operate on my own truth. I've been making my own moves. I keep hearing this game saying you could be the one if you.
Alright, guys, Fula coming to you with another video. Shout outs to the whole LDBC. If you like this video, please feel free to subscribe to the channel and also like this video. So, what I wanted to talk about, man, is, T.I., he came out, on a show. I think it was a podcast. And he said that, he checks his daughter's hymen to make sure it's still intact, to make sure that she is still a virgin. So what happened is that, all these feminists came out in flames and came with the guns blazing about T.I. and his tactics on seeing if his daughter's virginity is intact. Now, furthermore, he basically said, he was like, well, she doesn't play any sports. She doesn't do anything that may potentially break the hymen, even if she wasn't, like, besides sexual intercourse, she doesn't do anything that will break the hymen, So basically, in other words, like, he was saying that she, there should be no reason why it should be broken. Now, you had these women come out saying that, the patriarch double standard is real. You had women like Padma Lakshmi. You had all these women coming out and up in arms about what he does and the methods he takes. Now, I'm gonna try to be as objective as possible with this situation. I get it. Yes, you can say that T.I. is perhaps being a little bit overprotective of his daughter. You can't say that. But at the same time, I'm thinking that he loves his daughter so much that he just doesn't want to see, like, just see any old Joe Schmo get at the drawers, And I can understand his reasoning behind it. At the same time, though, I think it is a bit overbearing and it's a bit obsessive, and there's a different way to go about it. I believe that he can find a different way to see to it that his daughter stays chaste. Now, I was reading an Instagram comment, and you had all these women basically talking about, oh, you guys and your double standards. Oh, a woman doesn't actually change when you sleep with someone. A woman doesn't change when she loses her virginity. This, that, and the other. And most of these were coming from feminists, the feminist crowd. Now, my thing is about that is I don't agree with them at all. I really don't agree. Because this is the thing, man. When we're talking about sex, right? Sex, is something that those, like, and it's sad to say it, but they do this. Sex is something that feminists throw around. Sex is something that with a feminist, or I should say a neo-feminist, let me put it that way. When it comes to these neo-feminists, sex is something that is not of value to them. Sex is something that is honestly used as the tool to get what they want. Sex is used as a means to an end in some cases with these neo-feminists, man. Because you hear how they're talking about it right here. They're just tossing it around like it's nothing important. And the thing is something very important. Okay, here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. When you look at the society we live in right now, if you take that mentality, that neo-feminist mentality about sex, okay? Basically, they're saying that, as long as the girl's okay with it, she can have a free-for-all. And it's like, no, it doesn't work like that. Or it shouldn't work like that, because if that girl has a free-for-all, yeah, what if she has a free-for-all kid from that? What if she contracts something from that? From numerous partners? So basically what these these neo-feminists want to do, who are up in arms and up in outrage, is basically they want to casualize sex to something that, that they only have power on. Because that's their whole thing. That's the whole neo-feminist agenda, is basically for them to have a lot of power and for men to be very, very much not having power. For the role of a man to basically be compromised in order for them to feel like they're high and mighty. And I just really disagree with that. Because the thing is this with me, and I can only speak from my perspective, is that when it comes to sex, that's something very sacred. That's something that you just don't give with anybody. That's something that you give with someone who's like, the connection is very, very high. You know what I mean? And yeah, the way I was raised was like, it's different. That's probably why I feel the way I feel. But I know in this society we're in right now, of course, that, sex is not really, how should I put it? Sex is not really a big deal. Sex is just something that, you just do pretty much nowadays. You're like, oh, I slept with such and such. Oh, I did this with that person. Oh, that's how it's treated now. I understand that, I'm already known, right? So, that's why they're saying it, is because the society we're living in basically is like that, and the way I look at it is that, people should not really tell other people how to raise their family, but at the same time, T.I. should find a different way to go about it, because what may happen is that the daughter may just say, you know what, Pops is tripping. I'm just going to do it to rebel. You know what I mean? I think how it has to be done and how I would do it personally if I had a daughter is I would just instill in her, like, basically like, hey, you're valuable, and that, that virginity you have is very valuable, and that is priceless, and that, the guy you share it with, I'm gonna say, yeah, I want that to be your husband. I'm gonna say that. I say, because we got to keep with tradition. In African households, when you have, basically back in Africa, this is how it works. I know we're in a different part of the world, but this is how it works back in Africa. If you have a girlfriend, usually that girlfriend gonna be your wife. It's not the same way a girlfriend is here, where you guys live together first, where you guys do like all of that stuff together. When you guys are like, she may have your kid before, the marriage is consummated, right? It doesn't work like that where I come from, and that's what, with me, I still like to carry on with tradition. Me, I guess if you were to describe me, I'm a bit of a, urban traditionalist, basically. I guess you can say that. Urban traditionalist. And so, when I was coming up, like if I had a girlfriend, even if I, like, say if I was like 13 years old and I had a girlfriend, right? I would know her parents, I would know her uncle, I would know her aunt and everything, because they knew that, oh yeah, she's going to marry him, when they get of age, that's going to be her husband. That's how it worked, basically, most of the time. And so, that's how important it was, you know what I mean? So here it doesn't work like that, you know what I mean? And so it's very casual, and it's very like normal. I mean, for casual sex. That's why, I mean, for example, I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, if you go on Tinder or whatever like that, you can pretty much have that, you can pretty much get that. And it's crazy, but that's just the society we're in, and I guess T.I. is thinking about it like, crap, I don't want her to fall trap to this, you know what I mean? I think that's the way he's viewing that situation, but he there's a different way to go about it, though. There's different methods that can be done, but these neo-feminists need to back off. These are the same feminists that walk around topless saying this, that, and the other. These are the same feminists who will walk around naked and say no means no and all this other stupid crap. And so, with all this being said, just find the middle ground. That's what I would suggest with T.I. Find the middle ground. One thing he can do, I mean, I know she 18. One thing he can do is, like, he can, like, just kind of maybe get her situated into a point where, like, he can find a decent guy and just see if they hit it off, and then if they hit it off, cool, just get them married, Me personally, I'm of the opinion that If two young people are ready to get married, they can get married. You know, there's no need to wait. You know what I mean? You can just like do it. You know, because I mean, I have a homegirl whose parents got married at I think they got married at, I want to say like 17, and they were together. You know, like they were together they're still together to this day. So I mean, if you're ready, I think it can happen like that. You know, that way you prevent anything else. Because I'm gonna tell you something, man. I'm gonna tell you something from what I see. You know, and this is real talk. And so that's why I'm like looking at it as like this is like, they call sex sexual sacred energy exchange, because it really is. You know, that's something heavy. It's a heavy thing, you know? I mean, according to like the ancient African esoteric traditions, like sex can represent union with God. You know, sex can represent God's unity. You know, so it's not just something you just want to like, you know, I'll just do this, I'll just do that. You know what I mean? So, one thing I was gonna say is that when two people have sex and then they have a kid from that, right? And they don't stay together, they don't get married or anything like that, the kid grows up angry most of the time. The kid grows up mad. You can see it in his eyes. You know? Even when you separate, you know? And you guys were together in a marriage, the kid is still thinking like, kid is still hurt, you know? So just imagine like having casual sex partners, and then you have kids, and then that kid is just like, you know what I mean? That kid is deprived of having like the stable family unit, because I think the stable family unit produces greatness when it's stable, when it's together. Look at the Wayans brothers family. Their pull-out game was non-existent, but look at all their sons. All their sons are comedians or actors, because they had a stable family unit. When you look at when you look at all the ancient African avatars, they had many kids. A lot of them had like, some had like 44 kids, some had like 30 kids, but all of those kids were scholars in their own right because of the family union being stable. So this is why I'm saying that with T.I., I can't really, I can say, well, maybe there's a different way to go about it, but I can't really knock him if that's what he's looking for, you know? And one more thing I want to say about this. Us guys, we have to be held to account as well, you know, because it does take two to tango. So, you know, us like not basically poking everything that moves is another very important factor too. Us being in control is very important as well. You know, it can't just be on the ladies, you know. We got a part to do as men too, you know. But anyhow, man, let me know what you thought about what T.I.'s actions, you know, T.I.'s measures in seeing that his daughter stay Chase, you know. Fula signing out. Enjoy,